Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions. Today we're going to be looking at some of Marvel Contest of Champions characters, as well as the characters they've put into the comic books, and seeing if they would potentially be good additions to, well, the game at large that we play. So I'm going to be looking at three characters in particular. It will be Ares, White Fox, and Outlaw. So let's get into it. Now, before I go anywhere, I must state that one thing that's really commendable about these comic book series is that they have a lot of diversity in the characters that they have. I've learned so much about where the characters are from, and all three that I'm choosing have different nationalities, which make them really unique, as opposed to them being either American or from another planet. This is really interesting and very kind of down to earth at the same time. So without further ado, let's start off with Ami Han, or White Fox. Ami is billed as being the last Kamaho, a mystical Korean shape-shifting nine-tailed fox. Very strange. Her grandmother was a Kamaho who fell in love with a man that helped her uncover her humanity. As an adult, Ami became an operative of the South Korean National Intelligence Service, both in the civilian identity and as White Fox, one of South Korea's super agents, which is really cool. And it's what I was saying about these characters having a really broad and different diversity to their background. So the character is implemented into the comic books of Marvel Contest of Champions in a very kind of odd way. There's so many things going on within the comic books that they've done that it's really kind of hard to say. 'Cause I found that when I was reading about it, I was in one place, over to another place, back again, and it at times felt a bit disjointed with regards to the story writing, but was very entertaining. So powers and abilities. Now, we've known that she's mystical as a Kamaho. She possesses superhuman abilities, the full extent of which are unknown. She has demonstrated the following powers: heightened senses, claws, and communication with animals, as well as being a skilled combatant. So something bordering on the lines of being critting like Black Widow, this kind of assassin type thing. Claws with a bit of bleed. Anything else that's superhuman abilities, because there's not been significant amount of detail being kind of leaked out here, it's difficult to kind of pinpoint what the character would get, say if she was put into the game. If they were to make up something, would they do something with the L2, summoning say like an animal, or like a guardian pet, or same thing with the L3. It's very hard to tell. There's not really much being given away there for me to kind of give an idea to you guys what this character would be getting. But one thing I like about the character is the look. It's good. It's got this kind of I say Storm type vibe to her. So the white hair, you know, the white eyes, that Storm kind of vibe to her. I don't think they would, if they put her in, they'd probably give her some kind of like I'd say outfit like this, maybe something bordering on the same lines as what they do skills and abilities wise with Black Panther's Civil War. It seems like, you know, with the claws and the abilities, maybe best suited for something like that. Let's go on to another one. This is a bit of a funny one, because Outlaw is British, right? And people might say, oh, okay, well, oh, right, British. Obviously, he's black. That's cool. That's brilliant. His base of operations is North Yorkshire. So, for me, it's like, I was like, okay, North Yorkshire. Right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and beat up some bad guys like Punisher, because that's what we look up to, Punisher. So he's gonna have that kind of a voice to him, which is odd, because when I was reading this, they've given him more of a vibe of, I'd say, Ray Winston. So it's more kind of like, all right, mate, how's it going? Give me a pint. Come on, let's have some with you. Throw up your dukes. Let's go. It's kind of like that. So really, it should be more like this. That's Outlaw. That's how Outlaw should sound. When I was reading with these, he's kind of got this, like I said, very kind of Ray Winston vibe. But the thing that's really funny about him is he's billed at being 5'1" here. That can't be right. That really can't be right. That, just imagine that, like having a 5'1". No disrespect to anybody that's small, but and obviously being a hero, you've got to like deliver like twice as hard on things like your reach, your punches, where you're punching to, but you'll be kind of like going up, where the other opponent can be like just kicking you away. In these comic books, he does actually appear to be a lot. Well, it's hard to say on this one because he's at distance, but I don't know if you can see that he's at distance there, and it's hard to say whether or not he is of a taller stature. To most of, even like, okay, well, but this one in this picture, he's on par there with the characters we're going to talk about. Like, there's Guillotine, and then Ares, who we're going to talk about in a minute, who's up there. They seem to be at similar heights, which again I find a bit peculiar. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. Unless he's wearing high heels, so he's got the kind of Robert Downey Jr. vibe to him, or Tom Cruise. So just looking at his origins, it does say that his build has been someone from England. So he could have more of a Ray Winston accent then. That could be completely wrong. But the way that he's talking in here, that folk on benefits are scroungers, that sounds like he's delivered in more of a northern twang, a northern England twang. So it is really hard to tell whether or not he's going to sound like Ray Winston, or is he going to sound like more northern, which we kind of like, is he going to be more like this down the apples and pits? Like, those folk on benefit are scroungers. No, people down south don't say that. It was more of a northern thing to be, that folk on benefits are scroungers. So that's really kind of like where the kind of maybe the accent would be if he was speaking. So Nigel Higgins has more of a, I'd say, Punisher type life. And when he, so Punisher has, so Nigel has a very Punisher-esque life. If he was to be put in the game, I would probably say that more than likely he would retain all of Punisher's movesets and gun usage. God only knows if he's going to be able to withstand as much and have endurance as well. But if he was to be put in, he would look good. You know, he wouldn't look amazing. But it would be nice to get this kind of like this diversity, and it's nice to see that if they were to put him into game, because he maybe, you know, is from there, that we may see other kind of British type superheroes, for example, Captain Britain. So, you know, that would be a cool thing to hope for a British perspective, even if they did kind of like special playable characters for different continents. And if you're looking for badass characters, and I'm talking like godlike badass characters, then look no further than Ares. Ares has such a brilliant backstory to him, and I'm going to read it out, so apologies. The son of Zeus and Hera, Ares was worshipped as a god of war in ancient Greece and Rome. Ares' dissatisfaction with Zeus, ruler of Olympus, began after Zeus decreed that worship of the Olympians should be allowed to die out. On 3 times he attempted to conquer Olympus, twice in league with his uncle Hades, god of the Olympian underworld, but each time he was thwarted through the efforts of his half-brother Hercules and Hercules' aliases. Ares hated Hercules ever since he had killed Ares' monstrous Stymphalian birds in the days of ancient Greece. So that is a fantastic, like, great and like epic backstory to him in general. Not only that, but he fought the French during the Battle of Agincourt in 1415, leading the English, which is, again, just like, that's a really cool backstory. I think that's, you know, a lot of the other characters didn't have a kind of a rich backstory in any case, but, you know, look at this, like Link, all these kind of like half brothers and relations to Olympians, gods, and he's fantastic. He's kind of like where kind of like Thor's got this kind of vibe of kind of like history and kind of like ancient myth and things like that. This one here is like uber myth. It's like the myths that started from these myths type thing. And I like it. I really do. I think it was great to see and great to have in these. And Ares hasn't been left out of major storylines. He's been in them, which is really cool. He's been in as an Avenger here, you know, kicking ass. He's been everywhere doing anything. He's in history. He's been there. Obviously, there's been a big gap between his times in ancient Greece to kind of the modern era. That kind of like gap, except for the Battle of Agincourt. He has been everywhere doing stuff. Spoiler alert, he has been killed once, but he did come back from the grave. Now, his powers and abilities, you know, are just great. Again, like superhuman strength. Ares possesses superhuman strength greater than the vast majority of Olympians. He lifts approximately 70 tons. Among the Olympians, his strength is equaled only by Pluto, Neptune, and exceeded only by Hercules and Zeus. So he's powerful, but not as powerful as Hercules. He's more powerful. Which is one thing that's great about this particular character, is that they've done a lot more kind of on his powers and abilities. The other ones are kind of like, to Kabam's credit, whoever is backing these to be made, picking characters which don't get a look in is really kind of cool. I do like that. He's had superhuman speed, stamina, dense tissue, so superhuman durability, superhuman agility, reflexes, limited magic ability. While not as accompanied by magic as many of the fellow Olympians, Ares can sense the presence of other gods, demons, and the use of magic. Call other gods, summons, and weapons from Olympus, and transport himself, teleport. So that's cool. That so he has potential to use magic as well. He's immortality, regenerative healing factor, warfare expertise, war manipulation abilities. He's a master combatant, expert marksman, expert tactician, interrogation expert. Class 75. Ares possesses greater strength than most Olympian gods. He can, yeah, we know about that. So the long and short of it is, his fighting skills are without equal, which is very unique. Obviously, a lot of characters coming into the Marvel Contest of Champions game. Some to a lot of them possess weapons. So this character getting a weapon is no stranger. And I think it'd be kind of cool to see like a Greek Olympian with looking like a Spartan hacking away at the contest. I think that would be quite cool. I think people may go, oh, Gods of War-ish, isn't it? Very Gods of War. Yeah, but it's nice to kind of put in something that may be a bit different. And this is great. If Kabam have 5 years that they've planned for ahead of them, then this could be good news for these type of characters. They could get in there, and people can get to play characters completely from left field, and also from this series here, which, like I said, I do recommend you're going to have a look at. So yeah, if I was to say any abilities with him, well, it'd just be like, I'd say similar to, if a mixture between guillotine with regards to the throwing of the sword, mixed with some armor breaking abilities with Thor, like a little bit, nothing to do with thunder, but a lot of the kind of abilities with armor break. Maybe some stun in there, maybe some evade as well. Kind of replicating a little bit of like Moon Knight in some places with the bleeds. So all in all, I do think that this character would be one of my favourite ones to kind of put in from the Marvel Contest of Champions comic book series. So let me know in the comments below, because I would be interested, from the Marvel Contest of Champions comic book series, which characters would you like to be put into the game? Do you think they'd be put into the game? Do you think they may have stopped at guillotine and gone, well, to be honest, we're getting a little bit of a backlash about putting guillotine in, maybe we shouldn't, which would be wrong. You know, it's their kind of like shout on things, and maybe it might be good to kind of at times go away from the main roster of Marvel characters and go for the ones that are a little bit left field and people that don't overly take up, and that will then give people the opportunity to then look up more of these characters and get interested more. But let me know in the comments about that. So I've been RichTheMan, thank you very much again for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and support the channel, and you can also support the channel by hitting that subscribe button, and I'll do more content like this that's comic book related, game related, and anything else related. And don't forget to follow me on social media. The link is in the description below. Thanks again. Bye bye.